Hello everyone, Bashar here. So there were some comments about the audio being a little bit problematic. Some people said that the gain effects were too high. I toned them down a little bit, and there was also a bit of a problem with my mic being a little bit too far away from me. Now I have pulled it close. Hopefully that will remedy that. So the thing is, let's get to the video. Right? Hopefully the audio will be better this time around. So this time around, I want to talk to you about optimized Citadel farm, right? Because this is something that people do miss out on, I feel. I have seen people just beeline towards the Citadels, and guys, just as it is with Path of Exile most of the time, that's not what you should be doing, right? What you should be, let me explain. So thing is, guys, because I like video editing skills, the theory, which will be this video, and the practice will be another video. I did some nice Citadel farming the other day on stream. I will get an extract of that stream and I will put it on YouTube so you guys can see how it's done, right? And also we can do a few, in tonight's stream. Anyway, you generally want a quick character, a fast-paced character to do the Citadel farming because you wanna focus on farming Citadels and you wanna get through the maps ASAP, right? So this fella kind of does the trick, right? Dead Eyes would be pretty good. Gambling, I think, would be okay. Right? Anyone that's quick, right? Spark is kind of okay for anything and everything. So guys, for example, let's take a look here. So the Citadels finally have been fixed, right? This was quite some time ago, but people couldn't find Citadels. So Citadels can be marked with these nice rays on your map. And the thing is, they also penetrate a little bit into the fog of war. Can I find one for you guys? So there are 3 Citadels, right? And the bosses are the act bosses. Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. So Count Gionor is the boss of one of them. King Jamanra, see, there is another here. King Jamanra is the other, and Doriani is the third. So the Blu-ray means Iron Citadel, and that means it's Count Gionor's manor, and then the final boss will be Count Gionor himself. Then there would be the Orange Ray, that is, so this is the Red Citadel, by the way. This is the Stone Citadel, and yeah, don't take a look at that. Yeah. I died, but after killing the boss. We are gonna get to that. So the Stone Citadel is marked by a red ray. I don't think we should waste time in trying to find it here. And finally, we have the Orange Ray, which is what we wanna see on our maps. That is the Copper Citadel, and the last boss is King Jamana. Why do we want to see this? This, for some reason, is much rarer than the others, guys. Let's get into the values. Let's get into the money. So, the Iron Citadel, Count Gionor, right? The thing that he drops is worth about 1 divine, right? And I really confuse the 3. There are 3 kinds. I think I have just one of them. There is the Ancient, there is the Weathered, and there is the Faded. Faded, I think, is Jamanra. Let's get to it. These all make my videos too long, right? This stuff. Let me see. All I have divines, let's say, and I want Ancient. This is Count Gionor, I think, right? This is a little about 1 divine these days, obviously. Where are the other 2? We have Weathered. Oh, they are the same value now. So this is probably Act 3. Doriani, right? These are 120. These were 1.5. And finally, we have Faded. That is Act 3, and that is 3 divine. So, guys, all together they cost about 5.5 divine. And this is the Orange Ray and the Copper Citadel, right? That's what we want to see. And take a look at my luck here, by the way. 1, 2, Three, guys. Three copper citadels next to each other. Was there a fourth? Fourth. I got 4 orange rays close to each other. Imagine the value, right? Because every single boss is worth not 3 divine. I'm gonna get to that. And you know, that is why I'm doing this video actually. This is mostly idle chatter. So anyway, there are 3 kinds of citadels. Blue, iron, represented by Count Junior, orange, stone, represented by King Jamandra, and red, stone, represented by Dorian, right? Act bosses. And so the thing is, guys, here is the most important part, and here is the reason I do this video. The thing is, you might be thinking, you kill the guy, they drop a mag fragment, which can be used in engaging the arbiter. In case you didn't know, those, if you bring 3 together, you can take them to the arbiter, and you can fight the arbiter with these, right? So, guys, engaging the arbiter costs upwards of 5 divine, right? These days, at the very least. So, yeah, if you were thinking, I kill a boss and I get 1 map fragment, that is where you'd be wrong, and that is why I'm doing this video, right? The main reason. You can get the boss to drop multiples, but you would expect quantity of items. Nope, not quantity of items. Well, quantity of items, I'm guessing, would help, but the main thing is quantity of waystones, because those things counts as waystones, right? This does count as a waystone. So, guys, you get high waystone fine, you can get the boss to drop multiples, right? Just like, you know, you can get a lot of quantity and get the boss to drop a lot of currency, right? You can get a lot of quantity and rarity, right? And the boss can drop, I mean, some boss can drop multiple exalteds or whatever it is at the same time, right? So we can get that to happen as well. And thing is, guys, there is an excellent method to get high waystone fine. That is this, right? The map itself. Take a look at this. 600%, right? So how is that achieved? Because, guys, you might have noticed, you know, normal maps cannot have anything. Normal maps can have something up to like 400%. So what happens is, guys, you use the vowel orb on it, you corrupt the map, and everything gets turned into suffixes. So the vowel orb takes the, so you can have 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes, right? So the vowel orb takes the 3 prefixes that you have and turns them into suffixes, right? And suffixes make the map harder and also increase the waystone drop chance that is being given here, right? So what you should be doing is either you could buy these from other players, or you could be looking for your highest waystone find non-corrupted maps and, you know, corrupt them with a vowel orb, hoping for a high waystone drop chance. But also, guys, you know, take a look at this map. These are nasty maps, right? I mean, you have to be sure that your character is up to the task. So you'll have to find a sweet spot. You know, you don't want to do an extremely hard map and die because your setup will go to waste. So this is the rather obvious part. The not obvious part that I want to talk to you about is there is another way to increase the amount of waystones that you get from a map, right? And that is the weakest tablet of all time, irradiated tablets, guys. Thing is, irradiated tablets can have a modifier called increased quantity of waystones, right? And I don't think this exists on any other tablet. So take a look at this. I mean, as you can see, for Citadel farming, I have brought the quantity of waystones thingies together, and take a look at this, guys. And another thing is, you can have quantity of waystones and quantity of items on the same item, because the quantity of waystones is a suffix and quantity of items is a prefix. Do I have any of those? See? And thing is, guys, it can be 20-20, right? It's rather insane. So what you want to do is, guys, when you are doing a Citadel, you, for example, as I said, we will be doing this on tonight's stream. So you clear up to the Citadel, right? And you clear all the towers in range before beelining for the Citadel, right? You do this one, you do this one, you do this one, probably would be in range. There are none to the north. There are none to the south. That is definitely not in range. And after that, right, you put a Waystone find and hopefully quantity on all of these tablets, on all of these maps. Then you get the nastiest map that you can find and put it in here. And thing is, guys, we also have some Atlas points, right? And so, for example, there is this, right? 3% increase of experience modifiers on your Waystones for each precursor tower affecting map area. And so this means, guys, every single modifier on your Waystone gets amplified. And that thing means the map will be even nastier, and that means the Waystone find will be higher because the map is nastier. Because the nastier the map is, the more Waystone find you have. And then there is this 20% chance of double precursor tablet effect, which means your increased quantity of Waystones find can go up to 40, right? And you know, in an ideal world, you should be putting quantity of items and quantity of Waystones, but you know, I don't go for that level of micromanagement. If I have it, I put it in. If I don't have it, I don't bother. But you know, if you want to fully min-max it, that is the option. And then there is this Waystones have 25% chance more effect. So guys, because our maps are fully suffixed, right? I think this works in a smart way and amplifies the suffixes. So guys, you get your map nasty, nasty, nasty beyond all logic and reason. And then the thing is, I mean, for example, guys, let me tell you what I did myself. So I did these pretty recently. And the reason that this is failed is, guys, I actually killed the boss. But this is Act 2, right? And you know, there is an intermission and the guy breaks the ship and then you get transported in an area. I killed the boss, but I had left some rares behind and there is no way out. The only way out is you log out, right? You go back to character creation screen, you log back in and you take the portal to get in. But, you know, I normally don't fall for this, but at that time I forgot and portaled out, which made the map unfinishable. That's why this map failed. Funny story. And so the thing is, guys, strategy, right? That is important, I think. So the thing is, guys, the map that you're going to do is going to be very, very nasty, right? I mean, we have 6 suffixes and we amplify it further and further, and you have to be careful with reduced player resistances, monsters penetrate player resistance, that sort of stuff. You have to be careful. If you are reliant on cooldowns, player cooldowns are penalized, right? Players have 50% less cooldown recovery rate, because the thing is, guys, all of your explicits will be buffed into oblivion, right? It will be much, 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 much worse. Or the monster HP, etc. will go crazy, right? It will go up to like 130% increase HP, right? 130% increase HP. Monsters have energy shield as their life, right? You have to be very careful with that stuff. So what I'm getting to is, because the map is going to be extremely nasty and the grand prize is the boss itself, I would suggest beelining for the boss. I mean, I'm not saying overly rushing and getting overwhelmed by the trash and dying, but you know, definitely skip some rares. So you know, you go into the map, right? You know where the boss is because it's the act boss maps. You know the general directionality you have to follow, right? For example, Act 1, Geonor's Manor, we enter from kind of like southwest and the guy is to the northeast-ish, right? I mean, it varies a little bit, but Doriani, you know, you enter from one direction and you have to get to the other side of the map. That's how it generally is. And the best thing about this one is, guys, the Copper City is the shortest, right? It's very short. Right? So you go to the boss ASAP and you can come back afterwards if you like. I mean, in this one, you may not if you portal out, if you forget, but on the others, you can just come back out and then finish the map. Because, guys, normally, when you're doing a map, if there is a boss inside, and if your character is not very strong, you generally go to the boss last, right? Because you want to get the most out of the map, and if you're going to die at the boss, at least die at the boss and waste minimum, right? The thing is, the boss is the grand prize here because killing the boss is worth multiple divines, and the map is nasty, so the rares can kill you. So you just go to the boss ASAP, kill the boss, and then come back and finish the map. And for some reason, guys, the red Citadel, right, the stone one, the one Doriani is in, is extremely big. I don't know why. I mean, it's like 4 times larger than the original map. This one is maybe half of the original map. Count Geonor is, you know, around the same level, I think. I'm talking about, you know, when you're doing the campaign, the Count Geonor's manor has some size, right? You know, it is of comparable size. This one is much, much shorter, the capacity now, and the Act 3 one is extremely big, right? There are like maybe 40 raiders in there, maybe 30, I mean a huge amount. So guys, beeline for the boss, and the most important thing is clear all the towers around, and take a look at this, guys, for example. You see this 50% increase Waystones found in the area, right? Let's take a look. 91%. 105. So guys, how does this happen? That happens by me putting irradiated tablets with Waystone find in all of these towers, right? So it does, of course, some. So if you beeline, you would just go like this, right? Bang, bang, engage the map and done, right? That's not what I do. I come here, I clear this tower, I clear this tower, I clear this tower, right? I clear all the towers in range and then put the tablets in. And of course, you could just put the tablets in one by one. I just, you know, do my setup and do them all in one fell swoop, but you know, that's just a preference. It actually is, of course, I guess, better to put them in one by one because you put the tablet in here, and while you are clearing all the maps here, you get some value out of that tablet, but not the end of the world. I just would like to do it all in one. So yeah, that is how the setting up is done. So, and thing is, guys, about the numbers, around 400 or so Waystone find, I think you get the boss to drop 2, right? 400-500%, these are not exact. Around 800, no, 700-ish maybe, you get the boss. No, I'm exaggerating. Around 800 or so, you can get the boss to drop 3, right? And I think at around 1200%, which is doable, right? I mean, I know it sounds huge, but it's doable. Around 1200% or so, you will get the boss to drop 3. So what happens, guys? And these are, of course, approximates from my personal experience. So, guys, what happens when you have something in the middle? So what will happen is you will definitely get, for example, you have 1000% increased quantity of Waystones, right? What will happen is you will definitely get 3, right? And you will get 4 sometimes, right? Because you have above 800, but of course I don't know the exact amounts. I managed to get 1245% or something once, right? And I did get 4 at that, right? I recently got 1160 or something. I got 3, 1140, got me 3 as well. So reaching 4 is very hard. But guys, imagine, right? Every single one of them is worth 3 divine, right? Properly juice up the map, and the guy is going to give you 12 divines worth of stuff. And thing is, this is not some theoretical value like some good art series, etc. No, this is something that can be immediately realized for value via the currency exchange, right? You go in, right? You select the faded, you sell it, bang, right? And yesterday I farmed 10 of these faded, and I sold them for 29 divine. So yeah, that's about it. Another pro move, I would say, could be this, right? You could juice the map up to hell, but then it could be relatively too dangerous. So what you can do is you could unspec these points a little bit, right? To reduce the boss difficulty, right? Because these are map bosses and their difficulty is affected by this. So, for example, guys, you get a lot of Waystone find, but you reduce the difficulty to make it more handleable, right? You again have to find a sweet spot. Yeah, so when I first started, I was getting like 400% Waystone find, and I was unspecking like 2 of these points, right, with my Deadeye. And of course, after I got strong, you know, these had no importance, right? I can handle whatever it is. Geonor has a nasty habit of dealing some weird damage. Have to be careful with that, guys. This character is mega OP, if you might recall her from my previous videos. And I did die at Geonor once. He was doing an intermission, and during the intermission, he was draining my HP for some reason. I guess I didn't notice and I died. And the last time around, I was able to. So there is that. Is there anything else I would like to discuss with you guys about Citadel farming? Well, there are three kinds. We just got into that. Yeah, I don't think there is anything else. So the most important part is the juicing, guys. And the irradiated tablets in towers, I believe, is the important part, right? You put in increased quantity of Waystone irradiated tablets in all surrounding towers, and also if you could get increased quantity alongside with that, that's another bonus, right? You use the nastiest map you can for the Citadel, and the nastiest map that you can handle, right? That's very important. You have to know your character's power level, and because guys, imagine, right? You clear all these maps, right? You clear all these maps, more than 20 maps, all the setup. You put 4 tablets in, you look for the tablets, you buy the tablets, you buy the map that to go in here, you go in, boom, you die. Bang! Right? And I had that happen. It's extremely frustrating because hours and hours and hours of setup for like 10 divine, whatever it is, and boom, you get 0 divine. All that time just went to waste, right? Pretty awful. So one more thing I actually want to show to you guys. So you might have heard of RegEx, right? It is an abbreviation for regular expressions. So there are some nice stuff that you can do in the thingies here to find yourself some stuff. So for example, guys, you have hundreds and hundreds of maps. How do you find blah blah, right? So I want to show you one here. So take a look at this, guys, and let me do it. How does that work? Doesn't? Or I just have none. Let me actually check this before sharing it. Oh, what did I do? Sorry. I think it should work, but it does work. Okay, so I did get it right. So guys, what you do is you open a quote based on drop chance, column, space, slash, +3, blah, 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 this sort of thing. I will copy this. I will put this in the comment part of the video so you guys can use it. So guys, what that means is in my map tab, or in this tab, look for maps with more than 300% additional Waystone chance that are not corrupted. The exclamation mark corr means not corrupted, right? So this means look for non-corrupted maps with Waystone drop chance that is above 300%, right? And you can do it for 400% as well. I just have none, that's why it's not showing in it, right? I just have none, right? But if I remove this, for example, guys, as you can see, it now shows me the corrupted stuff, 400%. And I can get it to 500%. There is this one, 565%. And finally, then you put it up to 600%. I have just one map with 600% Waystone find. So you can do this to find. And for example, guys, you want to corrupt some maps, you put 400% non-corrupted. Your tab will show you. You get them, you wall them all, and you can get your 600% maps, right? Or you could just buy it from other guys. And as far as I know, the highest amounts that you can reach is low 700s, right? So the nastiest map possible, because not all suffixes are they don't all cause the same level of challenge, and therefore they don't provide the same amount of increased Waystone drop chance. So I think the highest amount possible is around 730% or so, but I would not advise it, right? Very dangerous maps. low 600% I would say is fine. And thing is, guys, so yeah, again a long video, but let me just summarize it. So guys, I said, you know, like 4 or 5 towers with 20% Waystone find or 15% Waystone find, or whatever it is, and 600% map. And I did say that I reached 1200% Waystone find, right? How's that possible? Because, you know, if you have like 4 or 5 towers in range, you have a 600% map, you should be getting, you know, like 700, right? Yeah. The thing is, the Atlas points help there, right? The explicit of tab maps get amplified by 3% for each tower in range. Towers have a 20% chance of having double effect. The other stuff that we get from our Atlas points, and these get all added up, right? And if you do what I say, right, let's say there are 5 towers in range, and you put a 15%, right? That doesn't have a 15% increased quantity of Waystone find map in there, and you get 650% map to put in the Citadel, and depending on the 20% etc. procs, you will have, I would say, 1100%, 1150% also Waystone find, which means you will get 3 from the boss definitely, and 4 sometimes. Right? That's how it works. And I don't think 5 is achievable. I mean, even if you use 20%, blah, blah, everything, I don't think 5 is achievable. Maybe it is with, you know, extremely good conditions, you know, a lot of towers in range, etc., etc., but I don't think 5 is achievable. 4, I would say, is the cap, but still, guys, imagine the orange tower, the stone citadel, the copper citadel, sorry, and you get 4, that is 12 divine in currency, right? I mean, there is no such drop in this game. I mean, you could get much more valuable items, of course, but a guy directly dropping stuff that can be converted into currency like that, right? Because you can sell them via currency exchange. So I get 4 of them from the boss, I put them in Alva, and I will have 12 divine in my hands in seconds, right? That's the beautiful part. So that is how you should be farming citadels. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will include the RegEx in the comments. And I will see you in the next video. And please, my friends, if you had left feedback before about the audio, or you know, I mean, let me know if it's any better. And I will upload another video for farming the actual citadel so you can see. And see you in another video. Bye bye.